Hi everyone. If you're familiar with my videos, you'll know I do look into driving laws and up and coming changes to, well, what we do in our cars and how we keep our cars and all the rest of it. So I've done a new video for 2026, and let's take a look at what's coming and what they have in store for us and all exciting stuff like that. So number one is self-driving cars hit UK roads with legal caveats. One of the most exciting and controversial, I don't think it's most exciting, but that's me, changes is the planned introduction of self-driving vehicles, a new legal framework. Well, the automated, bit of words out, the Automated Vehicles Act has paved the way for self-driving cars to be used on UK roads in early 2026. Well, that's now, we're in January 26 as I speak. These vehicles must meet safety standards at least equivalent to human drivers before deployment, and companies must be authorized to operate them. So this is legal issues and loopholes. Even when these vehicles are legal, liability and responsibility are shifting from human driver to the authorized self-driving entity. That means if something goes wrong, who is legally responsible? Insurance and liability rules will take time to settle. Yeah, won't it just? Currently, this legal pathway is enabled, but secondary legislation is still being finalised. So the source for that is self-driving vehicles, and it's the UK Roads Automated Vehicles Act 2026. So that's a new act they've come up with. So basically the driver won't be responsible because it's driving itself. It's the legal entity that owns the car. So I've set up a limited company and I have a fleet of self-driving cars. So if those cars go wrong and they cause an accident, then my company can be sued effectively, and that's when the company's insurance policy kicks in. But what happens if the company liquidates? Can they just walk away scot-free, and will the insurance find a loophole how to get out of compensating the people that's been causing an accident? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you think. I think it's a recipe for disaster. Okay, so number two, learner driver booking rules are overhauled. Spring 2026 brings major changes to how learner drivers book and manage their tests. Only the learner can book their practical test. Instructors and third parties won't be allowed to book on behalf of learners. Limits and rescheduling. You will only be able to change a booking a limited number of times, and notice has to be planned well ahead. This is intended to stop bot and third-party scalpers from grabbing test slots and reselling them at premium prices, which is a huge problem in recent years. It's been a long time since I've done my driving test, so I didn't know that was a problem. The legal problem and loophole to explore. While it's fairer to genuine learners, this change could disadvantage people with irregular work hours, health issues, or childcare constraints, because planned changes have to be made well in advance with restrictions on moving dates. That's a potential access and equality issue. So the source of that is gov.uk. Okay, covered this before. A lot of these I have covered before, but they've not come into effect when I did them last year. Mandatory eye tests and fitness to drive. Currently, drivers in the UK self-declare their vision fitness when renewing a license. But in 2026, the government's new road safety strategy proposes that drivers aged 70 and over must show proof of a recent eye test when renewing their license. So the legal catch and loopholes for this are: if this becomes law and you fail to produce an up-to-date sight test certificate, the DVLA can refuse to renew your license, effectively banning you from driving legally. So that's not a fine, it's just a loss of entitlement. So the source for this is a government's bold new road safety strategy. Okay, does our government have a bold new strategy? Do we think that? Let me know in the comments. Right, number 4, drink driving limit change and penalties. There's an active consultation on lowering the legal drink drive limit in England and Wales from 80 milligrams to 50 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood, and that's matching Scotland's stricter limit. Additionally, tougher enforcement measures are being considered, including temporary suspension of licenses while offenders await court, and even mandatory alcohol interlock devices for some convictions. Mandatory alcohol interlock devices. So what is that? It's like a breathalyzer that's covering the locks on your car, that you have to take a breath test first before the car unlocks or starts. I don't know, what does that look like? And that's going to be interesting. The source for that is government consultation on penalties and drink and drug driving reforms. Number 5, seatbelt laws tightened. In 2026, failing to wear a seatbelt could attract penalty points on your license as well as a fine. That's a big shift from previous. Non-seatbelt use mainly drew fines up to £500 and not penalty points. I thought you got penalty points as well, but there you go. Legal caveat: in some cases, passengers responsible for not wearing a belt could also face consequences. So it's not just about the driver anymore. Okay, so the source for that is a proposed motoring offence penalties consultation, seatbelt penalty points. Right, the government again. Number 6, driving theory test includes first aid now. Well, that's not a bad thing. From early 2026, the DVSA will expand the theory test to include questions on CPR and the use of automated external defibrillators, the AEDs. This is a major shift in what new drivers must know, tying driver education to emergency readiness. So the legal points on this: failing the theory test means you can't book your practical. So these new topics aren't optional, they're legally required knowledge. So, well, that was always the case. If you failed your practical, you couldn't. If you failed your theory, you can't go on to your practical. That's never changed. But yes, you now have to have a first aid knowledge. That's new. DVSA confirms a theory test will include CPR and AED questions. Number 7, digital licenses and license data accuracy. 2026 will see digital driving licenses rolled out, with the physical license still valid. Drivers must keep medical and address details up to date and online, or risk fines or enforcement issues during traffic stops. Potential legal snag: out of date information could lead to invalid insurance coverage if you're in an accident. So keep your digital license accurate isn't just a convenience, it's a legal requirement. So hasn't Starmer recently backtracked on the digital IDs, apparently, or all the contracts are still in place on the digital IDs and they're working towards it. They've just changed the wording on it. You watch. They're going to make it so you can't renew your driving license without a digital ID. And they're saying here, the digital driving license, which will be added to your digital wallet. You know, they're going to get it in. They're just backtracking and waiting for the dust to settle. Then they'll try again, a different method, a different way of phrasing it. And because all these £1 million contracts are all in place for implementing the digital ID, they just lie to us basically. So don't be what's the word? Don't be fooled by them. Anyway, number 8. What's this? Congestion charges and EV tax changes. Some financial changes in 2026 also affect drivers. London's congestion charges increases January 2026 from £15 to £18 per day, and EV exemptions were revoked, though discounts apply if you auto pay. Excuse me. Company car tax on electric vehicles rises, meaning drivers with EV company cars pay more tax from April 2026. Well, I've covered that in a previous video. Failing to pay congestion charges can result in penalty charge notices. And repeat non-payment can escalate costs and enforcement action. So the London congestion charge update, that's taken from Wikipedia, that information. So could be wrong. You can turn the page. Right, number 9, emission standards and vehicle requirements. From late 2026, all new vehicles and vans included in that must meet Euro 7 emission standards, tightening vehicle pollution rules. So the legal implication for this, if you're importing or registering a vehicle that doesn't meet these standards after the deadline, you could face registration refusal or fines. So planning purchases matter. So yeah, if you've got an older car, don't worry. And all new cars are sold as compliant anyway. So that's a bit of a nothing burger, really. So yeah, from my other videos, if I put them sort of up here, they'll probably pop up as a suggestion anyway. There's not a whole lot that has changed in 2026 as yet. I mean, we're only in January, so there's still time. Yeah, self-driving vehicles are on the legal horizon, but liability and safety enforcement will be complex. Yeah, learner tests booking rules tighten up. So yeah, okay. So not a whole lot to report on really in this video. But I'll let you know if anything changes later on in the year. So thanks for watching, and please remember to hit the like button, comment, ask me whatever you like, and it all helps the video to grow. Please help my channel. Please subscribe to my new channel, which is Rusty Car Clips, which you'll see a link on the homepage of the actual channel. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye for now.